Hello, Jimmy. Just spinning up some merino wool. Can't remember what colourway this is, but the Walton Wingham wool. I think this might be their emerald, I'm not sure. I thought I'd just go live while I'm spinning up because I'm here alone at the moment, so I thought, see if anyone wants to chat. Just getting to the end of this 100 gram skein, and then once I've got to the end of this, I'm going to apply in with a pink, which I think would be quite pretty. I like pink and green together. I know it's not everyone's thing, but I really like it. What's everyone up to today? It is hot here today, but it's cooler than it's been. I think it's only like 22, 23 degrees. This is the UK, so much cooler than it's been, but I don't like the heat, so it's still too hot for me. I don't know who trying to invite me to live, but I'm not inviting people to lives I don't know. There's no telling what they're going to be on there, so. Hello, Alzir, is that? I'm sorry, I can't read the things. I definitely can't read that name. It's a bit hard for me to see them all. The screen's a little small. I'm just spinning on my Ashford traditional wheel. So this one is, I looked it up. I thought it was from the 70s, but I found the database and it looks like this one's actually from 1981. So it's from the 80s. So it's still reasonably old, like me. This is a year younger than me. But it's the old style spinning wheels. I'm actually wanting a electric spinning wheel at some point for the days my legs don't work properly, so I can still spin. But I've got to save up enough money for them because they don't come cheap. But I'll never get rid of this one because I like it too much. It's just kind of something about having this style of wheel. It's just relaxing to use. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm hoping you can hear the sound of the wheel because the sound that a spinning wheel makes, each one is different, but they're relaxing. You kind of zone out to them. I don't know if I can change the angle at all so you can see what I'm doing more. See if we can put it over a bit more. Maybe that way a little. How's that? Then you can see the drafting a little that way then, can't you? Like that. You can see what I'm doing a little better. I'm just going to turn off these invites because I don't want people trying to get me to do the lives with them. So I don't know who they are. don't know what my screen was just telling me to do, but it's telling me to swipe for something, but I don't know what that is. See if I can share this a minute. To my Facebook, but I'm not sure. I don't know if my internet's a little dodgy. It keeps saying that it's cutting out. Is anyone actually seeing me? I don't know. Hopefully some are seeing, but I have no idea. Do we have any other spinners in here, or are you just people who haven't actually spun but like watching it? I spent years watching people spin before I learned to spin. Just love listening to the sound of the wheel. It's just so relaxing and calming. You can just zone out and not really worry about anything. Take the stresses away for the day. I'm just loving there. Let's take that out. Chunky bit that doesn't want to go thin. I don't know if anyone's watching because the numbers go up and down, but they also show little pictures of people, which I assume is their profile pictures, but then they have a profile picture of someone, but then say no one's there, so that makes no sense. So I don't know. Figured if I was going to be at home alone for an hour or so, I might as well just come on here, do this, and maybe get to chat to some people if anyone wants to chat. feel free to ask any questions if you've got any. Just grafting this pre-prepared fibre. This is merino. We have another lump there. Sometimes the fibre gets prepared, but it still has little bits in the way that you have to take out. If anyone's watching and wants to give me some likes, that would be lovely. Apparently that will get me more viewers according to what TikTok have just put up. I don't know. But it'd be nice to see if people are enjoying watching the spinning. And I know whether to bother coming live and doing some more again. Got a lot of different colours to work through, so I've got plenty that I can do more on once I've got this one spun and plied up. I already have another one pre-prepared, and then I've got yarn that was a single that I did a while ago, which I'm going to ply with this, a pink one, which will change the thickness obviously because it's been plied up, but also how the colours are going to look, because against the pink this is going to have a slightly different depth to it. Amazing how colour theory works and how just colours against different colours look different. So this colour will actually go against a pink, and then I'll probably do it against maybe a blue or something. I haven't decided, but I think it'll give us some interesting new looks. I got 2 more bits looking at out of this colour, and then I'll be on to plying. So I'll have to get up and get the lazy cake because I've forgotten to bring it over. One more bit after this and then we're done on this colourway. So if you stick around, you should be able to see me plying this up with the pink. I just have to go and get my lazy cake to get another bobbin to work from. Any of you watching, do any of you do any spinning? Or knitting or crochet or weaving? Or any other art and craft for that matter. I do quite a few different things. I'm a bit crafts obsessed, so I do a lot of different crafts. Hi to those that have just joined me. Take to stick around. Everyone seems to pop in and out when no one's actually speaking. It'd be nice if someone asks some questions, I can answer them, so I've got something to chat about. We just sit here and listen to the wheel, which is really nice and relaxing. Shifted on me a little. I have laminate flooring, so often if I get the timing wrong, my wheel shifts a little. I had slidey things on the bottom of my wheel to stop it, but they keep coming off. They don't stick very well. I need to move my hook over. You have to move the yarn manually along hooks, which you can't see, but along this bit on the other side there's a bunch of hooks, and we have to hook it around so that it spreads evenly over the bobbin. Almost to the end. Right, that's the end of that one. So there's 100 grams on there because I weigh it out beforehand So I'm just going to go and grab the other bobbin and the yarn so that I can now ply it up, because I've left them over there because I'm clever like that. Back in a second. Back again. So I've just grabbed this. This is one I spun before, but that one I'm going to attach to a different colour. I'm going to use this pink that I spun up a while ago. I've had it as a single for a little while, so I've caked it up because I don't have enough bobbins to do leave it on the bobbin. So I'm just going to switch over the bobbins. This here is called a Lazy Kate. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. It just is. But we're just going to pop this on here, and then I can spin this yarn off of here while I feed from the... my bobbin just fell apart on me. Never had that happen before. Let's hope it stays on while we're spinning. Guess the heat from my conservatory is melting the glue or something. I hope that's not going to be a problem. I don't have spare bobbins, they're the only ones I got. I'll put the tension thing over that. We'll break off this bit because it's just from when I done the pink a long time ago. Let's take that off. This is called the leader thread. Now, because we're going to be plying, we're actually going to be spinning the opposite way than I was just going. So I was going clockwise, but to ply I'm going to go anti-clockwise. So I'm just going to get this thread on a little so it's working. There we go. And I'm just going to split the yarn down so that I can then put in a bit of the pink and the green we just done. Just going to loop it over there slightly. Hopefully that will then twist those together. And now I'm just going to allow the two to blend in together. So this is plying, and it just means that we're adding, this one is 2-ply, because I'm adding 2 pieces together and they're twisting around each other, but they're twisting it the opposite direction than what I spun the yarn. So it slightly untwists the yarn, which is why you always have a slight over twist in the yarn when you spin it. But then it combines the two together. So when you get started at the beginning, you've got to move your hook quite a lot. I don't know if you can see, it's joining the two together. I quite like the look of this. I'm controlling where the twist goes with my right hand by pinching that yarn, and it stays between my fingers, and so the twist can't come down to where I'm holding in my left hand unless I move my hand down. And that way I always control how much twist is in the yarn as it plies together. I always try to do 200 grams of each colourway, so there's 2 skeins of each. So I will do this one, fill up the bobbin, and then cut off and do it again with another skein. But what I'll do is I'll weigh it first. I know roughly how much the bobbins weigh, so by weighing the bobbin after I applied onto it, I can give a rough guess of having the 100 grams for each skein. So I'm making yarn like you would for knitting, crocheting or weaving. I'll see if I can bring it closer a minute so you can have a look. Can you see that? So applying the two together. Let's see if I can hopefully not make you all too dizzy. You can see how it's twisting up onto here. So you'll be able to knit or crochet with it once it's done. So the two are going together and they're joining into that twist there. So obviously big companies, they would have big machines that do this, but this is how it would have been done years ago. Before the big machines, people would have been doing it by hand on these wheels or with a drop spindle. There's many different types of wheels that do them. Yeah, once I've spun it onto here, so once it's been applied, I will take it off of here and turn it into basically one big long loop. It's called a skein, and then that gets washed. And once it's washed, it stays together permanently then. It's called setting the twist. So once it's washed, the fibres puff out a little and they kind of tighten up together. And then that will be completely usable to be knitted with or crocheted or used for weaving. I do all of them. No, nothing to bond together. They will just naturally hold themselves together. This is merino, which is a type of sheep. And so they naturally join together because there's tiny little, what do you call them, like barbs or something, and they kind of hook into each other so it naturally stays together. This is super soft one. I always use the super soft. So this is merino extra fine. So it doesn't have a rough feel like some wool does, but it can still felt. So you have to be careful when working with it so that it doesn't felt, but because this is so super soft, it is a little harder to felt it accidentally. You have to kind of intentionally be felting it. That's right, I'm glad I could help. Applying is much quicker than the actual spinning because I don't have to worry about drafting and choosing the thickness of the yarn, so it's just automatic doing it. And I have a little measuring thing here which I can put up against and I can say roughly what size the yarn's going to be. So this is going to be between a sport and a DK weight yarn. So for this you use either like a 3 or 4 millimeter hook or needle if you're knitting or crocheting with it. I agree. I love learning something new every day. I'm always trying to find new things to do. I've recently started learning bobbin lace. There's a lady on here. She lives in Spain. She's got a Spanish name. Glassy B or something it is. I'm not very good at pronouncing things. But she does a lot of bobbin lace on here, and she started a YouTube channel showing how to do bobbin lace, and I've been learning that with her. because I love learning new tasks, new things to do each day. It's like today I've been having a play on a Prim pegboard to do some tutorials and that for people with, and I was just checking, but you can actually do a continuous weave method on that, which is not what it's sold for, but it works. So I'm going to do some videos on that as well. Thank you for liking the live. I don't know how long I'll be on for, depends on when my husband gets back. He works from home, but he's had to pop out for an appointment, so once he's back I'll have to come off the live again. But for now, while I'm home alone, I can go live and have someone to talk to instead of being on my own. He has his office upstairs, so I could go live while he's working, but I try not to hog the internet too much because I do live at a small village. So though our internet is getting better, we've just gone fibre, it's still not the fastest most people get. He actually works for an email marketing company, so like if you sign up for say Honda or BMW or something, a car's email system to know when new cars are coming out, what offers and things are coming on. His company is one of the ones who builds those emails. So technically his job is in London, but luckily he can work from home quite a lot. I promise he doesn't build any of the spam emails, they're just ones you genuinely sign up for big companies. I'm not sure why we're getting jokes, but okay. If you want to learn spinning, you totally should. It's really good fun. You can start with something called a drop spindle instead of a wheel. And that just hangs down and spins, so you manually spin it with your hand, draft the yarn, let it twist up, and then spin it again, which is really good fun. I'm sure Google will have some info, but I will have some tutorials on drop spindling at some point. But I'm still reasonably new at drop spindle. I know the basics and how to do it, but it's a little different technique than spinning on a wheel, so I can't do it as long periods as I can on the wheel. But my husband actually does woodwork and he's building me a bunch of looms and drop spindles and things for me to sell alongside my yarns, so I can create kits and things, which is going to be really nice. So what is it you do, Davey? Oh, you do woodwork as well? That's awesome. You was a mechanic and a joiner. My middle son's currently doing an apprenticeship for mechanics, and my youngest son is at college doing motorsport engineering. My husband went to uni and did a slightly different degree than how his job is now. He did a computer multimedia degree, really, so he learned how to do websites and work with Tower and other coding and things. And then his first job out of uni happened to be working in email marketing. and he actually really enjoyed that, so he stuck to that. So he's been doing that since, for various companies. So the one he's with now, he's been with for, I don't know, quite a while, maybe 10 years or something. He's been there now, so. But yeah, you just need to learn some basic coding, because obviously you have to code the emails. Depending on the emails, depends on the sort of coding that you need to learn, but it's completely doable. There's plenty of university courses that can teach that sort of stuff now, or college courses, depending on where you are. Yeah, my dad did mechanics and played with cars as his hobby. He was actually a lorry driver for most of his life, up until he died. So I think my middle son, though he was only a child at that point, a real young child, when my dad died, I think he probably picked up on the love of doing cars from my dad. And then my brother, who is a few years younger than me, he works as a tyre fitter, and my middle son worked with him for a while, and he used to fit tyres on racing cars, so he travelled around for a bit for that, but he decided he liked the mechanics more, so he took up an apprenticeship doing that. Yeah, if you look into, there's some really good courses for coding, and it's not all as complicated as it seems. A lot of it is some very simple code that you just have to be able to understand and read what it's doing. And once you understand the basics, you can easily insert the extra bits that you need to make the code work. I'm not explaining it very well. I'm not very good at explaining it, but I can do small amount of coding because I was learning alongside my husband when he was doing his degree. I used to like proofread it to check he hadn't missed anything, because when you've been staring at code for a long time, just like you would with any writing, you know, you get a bit cross-eyed. So I'd proofread it and look to see if there was any coding mistakes for fixing anything, you know, the odd comma out of place and that sort of stuff. So it's not too bad to learn. Some coding, Java's really hard, it's not something I can do. And C++ is not the easiest. But some basic HTML and things, they're not too bad, and that's mostly what you need to know for emails. And there's a lot of software that helps with a lot of the basic coding. And some code you can literally just copy and paste over to the next email, because it's usually the same sort of format for the company emails. They have the same sort of layouts and things, so then you're just changing the details in it. So it's, once you've got the hang of it, it is something you'd be able to do. Yeah, look into it. My husband really enjoys it, and I find it really interesting seeing all the coding and things he does. It gets complex working for big companies, working out the path, because obviously there's different subscription methods of people signing up for certain types of emails, and you have to follow GDPR, so you obviously got to make sure everything follows through the correct paths for unsubscribing and data transfer and all that sort of stuff. But that stuff, you don't really have to worry about. Most of it tends to be automated. You just build up a tracking system and it does it for you, so it's not too bad. Yeah, my middle son done it when he was in his early teens. I mean, he's 23 now, so yeah, he done it in his early teens doing the race cars. And he really enjoyed it, travelling around. It was really good. In fact, we have a tyre up in my youngest son's bedroom that he managed to got the entire wheel, tyre and the actual wheelbase, from a Formula 3 car that got flat spotted after like a lap, so they had to take it back off again. It was no good, so he got to bring that home as a present for him. But yeah, he did enjoy the tyre fitting, but he got offered to go and work. Pirelli told him to apply for McLaren, but he decided it was going to be too many weeks away, because obviously you're travelling a lot, and it just wasn't what he wanted to do. To be travelling away most of the year, so he chose something that was more stable at home. Yeah, my son loves his tyre. He's got a small room, but he finds room for that wheel every time. It's its pride of place. He's had it for years now, and he'll take it with him when he moves, I expect. The bottom's getting nice and full. This is shifting on me. Let me shift this back a bit. There we go. I need to get some new anti-slip pads put on this again, so it stops sliding around on me. Oh, I wish I could open the windows in the conservatory so we can get some airflow in here. It's so hot. Problem is, I've got to reach over the sofas, so I'm quite short, so I can't reach most things. So I have to get my husband to open them all for me. Problem is I feel the conservatory is my craft room basically, but I can't work in there because it's too hot, so it's used as storage for my crafts. So I can't actually reach any of the windows or the doors because I've blocked them all off. We currently have a motorbike sat in our back garden that belongs to my middle son. He turned up the other day. He doesn't live here anymore, he lives with his girlfriend, but he turned up the other day with a van and says, I need to store my bike in the back garden. So we've got a big ass bike in our back garden. I think my husband would love to have a bike in the house if we had room. We don't have room, so he's not having one, but he's into motorbikes and he absolutely loves bikes. I know nothing about them. So I think he'd probably love to have one in the house. Yeah, I don't think my landlady would be happy if we did either. We're not allowed pets. I'm not sure she'd like a motorbike in the house. Believe it or not, I have a fan. It's just upstairs and I can't be bothered to go and get it. Problem is, it's just a little, tiny little fan. So I'd need to find a table to put it on that could sit in front of me. And I've kind of filled up all the table surfaces with other craft stuff. I don't know why it keeps trying to get me to invite people to go live. I guess they're trying to push people to go lives together. But I'm only going to go live with someone I actually know, and as I don't know many people on this thing, why would I go live with strangers? You don't know what they're going to go live and do you? Can't just having some weirdo on my life. Though let's be fair, I'm probably the weirdo most of the time. Yeah, my brother-in-law had a bad accident on his bike, a really bad one. So they terrify me and they terrify my mother-in-law. But unfortunately, both my husband and my middle son love them. So I kind of have to get used to them. I did like bikes when I was younger, but because I'm so short, I'm literally 5 foot nothing. Finding a bike that fits me is quite hard. Now, because of my health problems, I don't have the strength to hold a bike up, so it's just not possible. But, you know, if they want one, they can have one. I just ask them to drive sensibly and watch out for other idiots on the road. It doesn't matter how sensible you drive if there's another idiot on the road not watching out for you. Yeah, I think we are all weird in our own ways, and that's what makes us wonderfully unique. I think if we were all, well, quote, normal, the world would be a very boring place, wouldn't it? It's only because of our little quirks that we have that we get to learn so many new cool things. Are the new ones a bit shorter, are they? They're finally catering for us short asses. When I looked many years ago, there was only one I could find that was able to cater for someone who was 5 foot nothing. So it's nice to hear they're starting to cater for shorter people now. Oh, thank you for the follow. If you check out the website Code Academy, I think it's codeacademy.com. They might have some courses for basics for coding that might actually help you. My boys used it as part of their home education. So they have a few different courses on coding. It might be some in there to give you some basics that will help you towards doing an email one. You're 5'8". 5'8", wow, you're quite tall. The weird thing is my mum's smaller than me. She's 4'11". My twin sister is 5'1", and my oldest son is about my husband's height, which I think is about 5'6". They're not really tall. They're taller than me, but they're not like super tall. Whereas my youngest son is taller than all of us. I don't know where he gets it from, but he just towers over us. Which annoys my middle son, Sonny Connett, because he was always the tallest. Check out Code Academy. I think it's codeacademy.com, but if you just Google Code Academy, it should come up. And that one has a lot of coding lessons, so you should be able to get some basic coding from that, hopefully. I don't know if they still do any free courses. They used to do some free ones. That's what I did with my boys. But I think they've started charging for a lot more. But, yeah, Code Academy for coding lessons, yeah. It should give you a good basis to start with. Yeah, hopefully it helps you and you can get a look in and see what sort of things you like doing. I've only kept up with learning basic coding because I do my own website along with my husband does it with me, so you need to know the basics for that to fix any problems that go wrong with it. I have multiple websites. My shop's actually just pressed to shop, so that I don't have to do too much on, but we should do some coding changes for colour and layouts and things. But my blog and some of my older websites, they use a lot more coding, so I had to learn it all for that. But it's kind of like use it or lose it, so I haven't done any proper coding for quite a while, so I think I'd have to start from scratch again. At least my bobbin looks to be holding up. I'll probably jinx myself now, but it looks to be holding up. It hasn't come apart on me. I'll have to grab some of my husband's wood glue and re-glue the bobbin back together. I've never had it come apart before. I mean, as I said, these are quite old, so I really should buy some new ones, but they were holding up. So I'm guessing it is purely the heat in the conservatory has caused it to come unstuck. Yeah, it is. It's totally use it or lose it. It's like I was top math group in school, so I was pretty good at math. And now I panic at basic math. So when I'm doing stores and things, my husband helps me with the customers so that the math is always correct, because I'm always worried that I might overcharge. I discuss the craft side of it, and then he does the business side of it. Because I like doing the crafts, and we have to sell the stuff I make. We don't have a big enough house for all of it. But the selling side of it is not something I'm particularly good at. I just like making it, and then I can tell people how it's made and what you do to go and learn how to make it and all that sort of stuff. But my husband does the actual selling part, where he adds up the prices and tells people what it's going to cost and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. My English was good as well. I was one of the top people in my class for English, and now my spelling sucks so bad. But we have found a game recently, Boggle. Have you heard of that? I think it's called Boggle. Google Boggle, I think it is, isn't it? that basically has a bunch of grid of letters, and then you have to make words from that. And I'm actually winning on that. But I can't win on Scrabble ever. But Boggle, I'm doing quite good at. My husband described it as because my brain works in a weird dimension, and so seeing things at off angles is easier for me. And he's not wrong, to be honest. Yeah, dyslexia runs in my family. My middle son has it. I have the one where the numbers, I see numbers the wrong way round. Is it dyspraxia? It's not officially diagnosed, because back when I was at school I didn't really do any of that. Same with my mum, she's dyslexic but not officially diagnosed. Back when she was at school, they just accuse people of being lazy or stupid, you know. But it's a lot easier to get diagnosed now, most of the time. My middle one got his official diagnosis when he was at college because we home educated, so we didn't have the testing done when they were younger. But once he went to college, we were able to get him diagnosed with dyslexia, which meant that he got some extra help he needed for reading exams and things, which has been really helpful for his apprenticeship. My problem with spelling is usually I remember all the letters, but I get them the wrong way round. Like the word boy for the big bulb things you get in the sea, you know, the floaty things, B-O-U-Y. But I never know if it's B-O-U-Y or B-U-O-Y. And like something like angel and angle, I always get the E and the L's the wrong way round. Yeah, I have to double and triple check everything, and if I'm doing something with numbers, like making a payment with my bank and things, I always get my husband to double check my numbers to make sure I'm sending it to the right person and not to the wrong person. Because that would be just my luck that I get the two numbers the wrong way round, and then it would go to someone else and not the person that it's supposed to go to. I'm going to stop in a second and just have a quick drink because my throat's getting a little dry. Let's stop there for a minute. I have a little bit of Velcro on the front here. I think you can just see the white edge there, which I just stick it down and hold it, and then it doesn't unravel on me. I just have a drink quickly. If you see me on my lives a lot, you'll see I drink this a lot. It's like 90 calories for the entire bottle, and there's nothing artificial in it, so I love them. It's the lime one, but I often drink the lemonade one, but Tesco's keep selling out of the lemonade, probably because I keep buying it. Yeah, hopefully see you again. I try to do these lives when I can, so hopefully you'll catch me again. Oh, enjoy your walk. I hope you've got somewhere nice to go and it's not too hot out there. I miss going for walks, but I can't do it anymore. But go and have some food. Hope you have something yummy. I had couscous with cherry tomatoes and peppers for lunch, which was really lovely. I'll see you again soon. You take care. Oh, you're welcome, David. It was lovely to have someone to chat to, because so many people are so quiet and don't ask questions, so it was nice to have someone to chat to. So hopefully you'll catch me the next time I'm live. I don't know when that'll be. I go randomly. free to ask any questions if anyone wants to know what I'm doing or anything. I'm just plying up yarn. These are 2 singles merino yarn that I spun up earlier, and now I'm plying them together for a pink and green striped yarn. This will give a variegated look really in knitting and crochet projects. I really need to fix the anti-slip things on this so it stops running away from me. Should really put some music or something on in the background, but I'm so used to going live on YouTube, you can't risk having any music in the background. I don't put anything on. And plus just the sound of the wheel just going around is really quite nice and relaxing, so it's just nice to listen to it. I think I'm going to have to stop after I've done this one bobbin, because after spinning up the other one and then doing this, my legs are a little tired. This is why I want an electric one, so when my legs decide they've had enough, I can still continue spinning. If you're interested in learning about the wheel, my YouTube channel will soon have some videos explaining the wheel and how you work with the spinning and that. How you draft and prepare the fibre and all that sort of stuff. Just keep moving my yarn across my hooks for the bobbin so that it spreads evenly across the bobbin. I don't think you can see that, but that's what I'm doing. If you enjoy watching, please do give me some likes. I always forget. It's like on my YouTube channel, everyone's like, do you ask for likes and subscribes? I don't, because I forget. I really should ask for people to like and subscribe and follow and all that sort of stuff, but I always forget to. Feel free to ask me questions if you want to know what I'm doing. I might have time to get this bobbin finished before my husband gets back, and then I will come off on the live once I see him pull up. You see, it's coming along quite nicely now. Oil my wheel after I finish this. It's kind of a little clunkier than what it was when I first started. I don't know if you can hear the difference. I don't know how long some of you have been around for, but the sounds just changed to a little clunkier. So once I finish this, I think I'll have to oil it a little. I don't know if you can see what I keep moving. I'm moving the thread along these hooks, and that's what helps move it along the bobbin to make it a little more even. Hard to see the angle. Keeps flashing these things up on my screen. TikTok does. I have no idea what they are. I'm not very good at understanding half the stuff that pops up on TikTok. Something about TikTok universe and sending things I don't know. I just want to craft. All of this other stuff and all these goals they set, just make it simple. I don't actually know how long I've been live. I don't see anywhere on there that says how long I've been live. Oh, doesn't really matter, does it? I'm not aiming for a set time. I think it would have been handy to know how long I've been spent doing this, but I'm not really fussed. Just moving over to the next hook, which you can't see, it's off camera, but there's another hook there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hooks altogether. As you can see, I'm applying 2 strands together that I spun earlier, giving a pink and green stripe, which will give a sort of variegated look on its little crocheted up. Looking at this, I'm probably getting close to the 100 grams that I want to do. Once I think I've got enough, I'll weigh the remaining yarn and the bobbins to compare them. I'll take the weight of the bobbins off, obviously, and see if it is 100 grams. And if it is, I'll just separate the shreds by snapping them, and then I will spin up onto another bobbin the remaining 100 grams, because I spin up 100 grams of singles each time, and then I apply those together to create 2 of the same skeins. So I have 100 grams of the green on one bobbin, and I've got 100 grams of the pink down in a cake form because I don't have enough bobbins. And then those 2 applied together means that I'll have 200 grams of the pink and green applied together when it's finished. Well, thank you for the follow, Terry. Sorry if I've missed anyone else. I think I've got 1 or 2 more passes up and down the bobbin for this to be 100 grams. The way I can tell is these bobbins hold approximately 100 grams. So if you can see on the Lazy Kate here, this is one here which I'm not working with right now. That is a 100 gram single. So you can see how far that bobbin's full. I can use that as a guide to how far this bobbin gets full and know roughly that that's got to be to 100 grams, and then I weigh it just to double check to make sure. But I think, I don't know if you can see, I need to come back 1 more pass, possibly 1 more pass back, and then that should be 100 grams. It doesn't have to be exact, but I like to make sure my skeins have a minimum of 100 grams on each one. Sometimes they have 102, 103, maybe 104 if the fibre that I got was a little over the 200 grams. Rather have too much than too little. I switched the hook. I can't remember if I switched the hook. I did. I don't know who it is that's stuck around for a while, but I've seen your image up the top quite a lot, so thank you for sticking around, even if you're not feeling up for chatting. Don't feel quite so lonely. Keeps trying to get me to invite 3 Cub Shop to go live. I don't even know who the 3 Cub Shop is. Is it someone I follow? Problem is, I never remember the names of everyone I follow. My memory sucks. I don't even remember the name of half my family members nowadays, so I've got quite a large family. For all my cousins and things and their kids, I don't know what they are, what they're called. I just forget them all. Hair is itching my arm, tingling my arm. If I had a spider on me, but it's just my hair. I think we're going to be cutting it close to get this finished before my husband comes back, so I think he'll be back any minute. I might finish the last little bit off of the live, but there will be pictures up on my Instagram of them when they're finished, so you can have a look there if you're following me on my Instagram. If not, it is linked in my bio, so just pop along and have a look. And at some point it will appear in a little short video along with all the rest of my yarn when I'm at my next event, because I always take little videos of my events, though I have forgotten to put the last couple up here because the signal's not been great, so I'm not been able to upload them while I'm there, and then I forget when I get home. Starting to feel the pain a bit now anyway, so I'm definitely going to have to stop soon. The painkiller says I should stop when I start feeling the pain, but I'm stubborn and I'm determined to get this at least to close to the 100 grams as possible before I stop. Yeah, I think one will pass the other way, and that should give us the 100 grams we need. I do actually need to apply some wool that I've got over there. I'm going to use it on the pegboard that I've got, but it's too thin, so I'm going to apply it together on itself to make it a bit thicker so that I can use it on the prim board, because it's just the yarn that I use to do test runs before I record tutorials and things. I have one I just kind of take apart each time I've done it, reuse it for the next test run. There's no point wasting yarn. especially as my yarns are all 100% wool, no synthetic fibres, so it don't come cheap. This merino is not too bad. The fibre that I buy, so I think it's £3.70 for 100 grams. So it's not too bad. It's the time to spin and ply that really eats into the cost of hand spun yarn. If you're a business, you need to charge for your time, just like anyone else gets paid an hourly wage. We should too, and I do have an hourly wage I pay myself for my crafts. That's well enough there. Yeah. That's definitely the last pass we want to do on that first one. That's now level with the wood. You don't want to go any further than that because it will start coming off. But it tends to work in a slight slope, so the next one will be ever so slightly higher than that one, and the next one slightly higher than that. And that way, by the time you get to the other end, you can then meet the end of that wood to the same height, and then that's usually about 100 grams. If I was sensible, I'd split the two off into 50-gram balls before I start, so I know I've got it without having to weigh at the end. But the problem is I don't have enough bobbins to just do 50 grams at a time. So I need to get more bobbins, and then I can do 50 grams at a time, and I won't have to worry about weighing them as I apply them, because then they'll already be at the exact weight I need. The right calf is trying to cramp on me. That's not good. I definitely need to stop, but push through and almost to the end. I can just rest after this, so I don't have to go anywhere until later tonight. And I have my steampunk group, so I can rest for an hour or so before going. Kind of zoned out there. I think I may have gone a little further. No, it's not too bad. I think we can move over. It's not too high. When I'm doing like a super chunky yarn or something, it's a real squish to get the 100 grams on. So I know I can just go as far as I can physically fit anything. And then that's 100 grams, nothing else is going on. But when it's these finer yarns, it can get a little more than 100 grams on it. So I have to be careful not to go too high on each section and then misjudge how much is on it. Almost done. Thank you for those who have stuck by and watched quietly while I've done this. Maybe hopefully next time you'll feel like chatting as well. But you might just be here to listen to the wheel spin, which is just so nice and relaxing. Quite funny because on the camera that spinning yarn looks to be quite pink, but from my angle it almost looks more of a darker purple because of the way it goes. It's obviously the way the light's capturing it and how the camera's showing it. So it's really interesting to see what it actually looks like once it's all properly finished and washed. When I say washed, what we do is we just put it in a tub of lukewarm water carefully with proper wool wash, not normal clothing wash. Leave it to soak for like 20 minutes and then just rinse that off and gently wring it because you don't want to felt it, but that gives it all the wash you need from any dirt and greases that might be left in the yarn and then natural oils that are on our hands. And that way when the customer buys it, they have a clean yarn to work from and not something dirty. That is my husband pulling up now on the go, and I'm just on the last bit. So what I'll do is I'll say goodbye now, and I'll just finish this last 100 grams off on my own. But if you see, it's almost all done now. We're just going to do that and then we'll be done. So I'll see you all later. You'll take care. Bye.